Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be making something called a density tower. So we're going to layer all these different kind of liquids up and they're going to stack on top of each other. And then we're going to put some everyday objects in them and see what happens. Let's get started. All right guys, let's get started. So some of the things you're going to need to do this density tower is a clear tall glass, whether it's a clear tall glass that you guys drink out of, or like me, I found a vase. Okay, I just have it lifted up on something right now so you guys can see it a little bit better, but make sure it's on a flat surface. We never want to shake or stir or anything like that, any of the different layers that we're putting in. So our first layer is going to be honey. Then we need whole milk, dish detergent, water that has food coloring in it. I decided to choose green, and oil, like vegetable oil. Okay, I am also going to be using at some point a bolt, simple bolt, and a ping pong ball. And that's going to help us see the different layers of density and what goes through faster, what sits on top of what. Last but not least, a turkey baster, or something that helps slow down the liquid when we start laying them one on top of the other. When we're doing this, you want to go as slow as possible and be very, very calm and make sure things aren't being jostled around. Otherwise, it can disrupt our different layers. Now, Miss Schwartz has tried this once or twice, and the biggest layer that I get a little nervous about is when I have my milk and my detergent. So I'm going to talk about it as we go through it, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about and why I get a little nervous. What we're going to start with first is our honey, just regular old honey that you can find. We don't want to touch any of the walls of our vase or cup or whatever we're using. We're simply just going to squeeze it into the middle and let it slowly flow out. You want about 2 centimeters, about that thick. Nothing too bad. I'm gonna make it a little thicker and then I'll show you guys. So let's take a look. It's kind of settling right now, and again, you don't pick yours up. I'll just pick mine up. It's pretty thick, which is a good start. If you want to add a little bit more, I'm gonna add a little bit more just because I have enough honey. And there we go. So I'm gonna let it settle for a minute or two and get ready to start with my whole milk. Okay, now I don't have the best turkey baster. Hopefully yours are better. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and get as much milk in my turkey baster as I possibly can. Again, I'm not just dumping my milk in here because that's not gonna do anything. I have my turkey baster, it has milk in it. I'm going to, looks like everything's settled, slowly push it against the side of the glass so it slowly drips down and on top of our layer of honey. So, and that's okay if things start to drip out a little bit. I'm just slowly letting it drip down the side as it layers on top of my honey. And depending on how big or little your turkey baster is, you might need to do multiple turkey basting steps, which is totally fine. I am probably going to be doing another turkey baster, another couple of full turkey basters for the milk layer, just so I make sure I have a layer that's pretty much the same size as my honey layer, because I want all my layers to be the same size. Okay, so that's it once. So we can already see a little bit how the milk sits right on top of the honey. Awesome, isn't it? They don't mix together, but my honey is a lot thicker than my milk. So I want to put a little bit more milk in there and make sure they're all pretty similar. So again, I'm going to go ahead, take my turkey baster full and just let it slowly drip down till it fills up. All right, I think I'm gonna do maybe 1 or 2 more. Let's see how much we can get in. Oops. All right. And soon you'll just become old pros at this. What do we think? Like 1 more? Let's do 1 more just to be safe, right? Better safe than sorry. Okay, now because I'm done with the turkey baster for right now, I'm not going to use it with my detergent. No matter what, every time you're done using it for each liquid, you want to rinse it out so it's clean enough for the next liquid. You don't want the liquids to mix. Okay, so I went off and cleaned my turkey baster. Okay, so I went off and cleaned my turkey baster after I used it with the milk, so it's clean enough to use with one of our other liquids. So far we have honey, milk. Now we're gonna use our dish detergent. This is the part where Schwartz gets a little nervous. So as we can tell when we pour things out, honey is very thick and slow. Milk, very thin, came out no problem. Detergent is almost a mixture between the two. It can run pretty smoothly, but it's also a bit thicker than what milk is. So when Ms. Schwartz first did this, it looked like a lot of the milk and the detergent were mixing. And I'm going to hope that really doesn't happen here. But from things that I've read and from other people, it looks like they should still separate and we should still see a really good layer between. But that's why it's very important when we do this, we go slow and really just let it do what it needs to do. Not stirring it, not twisting it, nothing like that. Just kind of going slow and letting it do its thing. So if you wanted to, you could unscrew the top and use your turkey baster to do this part. Thankfully with this one, we've got a much narrow opening than even the turkey baster that I can easily put it on the side to let it drip down slowly into the next layer. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna hold my detergent. I'm gonna try and put it up against the side of the container and slowly let it drip down onto the milk layer. If they start to mix, that's okay. That's part of what experimenting is seeing what works, what doesn't. And we're gonna keep going and just see what happens. All right, guys, so again, I'm gonna try and go very slow on the side of the container. As you know, it's going slow. So we're just gonna see what happens when it hits the milk. Hopefully it does what I think it should do, which it looks like it is, which is exciting because, again, I was very nervous about this. So for right now, because you can't really tell yet, the soap, the detergent, is slowly spreading out over the top of our milk. You can sort of see it in the video. And as things get going, I'll show you guys a little closer, but it is starting to spread right over the top of it, which gets me really excited because I was very nervous about this step. But as you can tell, we're going slow, we're taking our time, and we're just gonna slowly get it all built up. I don't wanna rush it because that could break one of the layers and then we've kind of lost our experiment and we don't wanna do that. So again, I wanna kind of fill the layer up to almost the same height width that my other two are at. So is it This is a decently thick. You guys can see now we have that whole new orange layer. So we've got honey, milk, and now detergent. How cool is this? And I think, what do we think? Those are good, decent layers, right? Almost exactly the same. Yeah. Yeah, they're all about the same. So let's take a little look. I'm just going to push it forward so you guys can see a little bit better. A little bit of the milk came up top with the detergent, but that's okay. So we have our detergent, our milk, and then our honey right at the bottom. Again, I'm picking it up right now because I want to show you guys, but I'm trying to be very, very careful to not jostle it or spill it or anything because I want the layers to stay exactly the way they are. All right, it's looking so good. I'm so excited, guys. So I think the detergent is at a great level. I'm gonna go ahead and close this because I don't need any more of it. Next, I have my water with my green food coloring. And of course, if I need more water, I just add more water to this and it'll give me more, which we might need to do depending on how much I get onto our detergent. So we're just gonna let it sit for another second. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting my water ready, which did not work just then. So let's try it again. All right, that was a little better. And I'm not just dumping all of this in there because that's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna work for us and it's just gonna end up breaking our layers, which we don't want. So let's see. I'm gonna try to get it on the edge and just slowly let the water trickle down and hopefully sit on top of our detergent. All right, so it's slowly getting there. There's a little bit of leakage between a couple of our layers, but that's okay. That's part of what we do here, is just figuring it out. So again, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to go ahead and go slow down the side and just let it kind of get over the top. All right. Couple more times with the turkey baster. Up against the side, nice and slow, let it go. And it's slowly just coming over the top of the detergent. Looks pretty cool. It's actually looking really awesome, guys. And in the different layers, there's some things happening. Not really sure what, but that's okay. Still looks really cool, right? See my layer of green. We got a little mix, but that's okay. Still looks okay. I'm gonna try and get the last bit of this water in here. And voila. There is our layer of water with food coloring. See how it's green? So right now we have our honey, our milk, our detergent, and our water. So our last liquid that we're going to be using is vegetable oil or oil. I, again, am kind of lucky. I have this nice little spout on the top of mine, so I can use this directly in. But for those of you, again, use your turkey baster and it'll work just as good. Okay, let's see if we can't get this to work. it is now time for our oil. Let's take one more look at our tower. Like I said, this is only like second or third time I've tried this, so I have a little bit getting kind of funky in my layers, but that is why we experiment and we try these things out. So again, I'm gonna try and get it to the edge so it drips slowly down. And it's a little tricky. You kind of figure it out. You might need to use some extra fingers to help you. And I did make sure I grabbed a towel just to make sure, but I'm slowly squeezing now that I've got this a little bit better. We're gonna do our last layer. Starting to form really, really well on top of the water. Look at that. How cool. Had to refill. All right, we're gonna call that one done. And voila, we just made our own density tower. Look at that. Look at all our different layers. So we have honey, milk, detergent, our water, and our oil. How cool. So now what we're gonna do is kind of check the density. When we put different objects in these different things, certain objects float, certain objects don't. We're also gonna see what the different layers do when we drop something like a bolt and a ping pong ball in. So I'm gonna take my bolt and I'm gonna drop it in first. I'm gonna try and do it in the center and just go drop. How cool was that? And look at that, it went right through all the different layers and is now right at the bottom. You see, there it is. How cool. It went through all our layers. So I wonder, what do we think is gonna happen with a ping pong ball? A bolt is much heavier than a ping pong ball. Let's remember that. And these different liquids we have, they all have a different density, which means some are thicker, some are thinner, some feel a little bit heavier, some a bit lighter. So we're gonna see what happens when we put a lighter object, our ping pong ball, into our layers. Try and go for the middle, and it doesn't do anything. It sits right on top of our top layer of oil. It is too light to make it through even the oil. So, what do you guys think? Kind of neat, right? Now, if we had a grape tomato, a tiny little tomato, that would be perfect because when we drop it in, it would make it through a couple of layers till it hit about midway in our tower and it wouldn't move. It's heavy enough to go through a layer or two, but not heavy enough to go all the way to the bottom like our bolt. Interesting, right? So what I want you to do is click the link in the description below. See if you can make your own density tower and try and put the different things in to see what happens. I hope you guys had a lot of fun and I'll see you guys later. Bye.